So moving
Oh,
on.
yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
So moving on, our second guest for today is the founder of Hands in Inclusion Philippines, a community of volunteers that promotes proper inclusion of persons with special needs in the country. The organization shares stories of people with disabilities in order to promote awareness of the need for inclusion in society. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Roylan Marlang.
Thank you very much to the guests and the speakers, and also for Ateneo Speed na rin for your wonderful introduction. So, by the way, ano nga ba yung sinasabi ko about sa HNI inclusion? Next slide. Sino ba kami? So, we are a community of volunteers that promotes proper inclusion of PWDs in the whole Philippines. So, binabahagi namin yung aming kwento para matulungan din ang mga PWD na matanggap sa lipunan bilang individual, hindi lang PWD kundi lahat, mga LGBT, pati mga katutubo at pati na rin yung mga mahihirap sa ating lipunan. So our goal is to be able to reach out the proper channels, both the government and the private sectors, to give aid, support, and embrace to those who deserve this help. Next. So, before the pandemic pala, by the way, nagkaroon pa kami ng meeting last February for yung sa mga plano, yung plans for this year sana. But, ang nangyari ngayon, nagkaroon nga ng mga lockdowns and also nagkaroon din ng mga anxieties halos lahat kami nagkaroon kami ng anxieties. But paano namin natutukan itong COVID-19 pandemic nung nasa bahay kaming lahat? Una, lahat kami ay temporarily na walang trabaho dahil nga sa pandemya. Kaya na nga, kagaya na sinabi ko rin, nakakaranas kami ng pagkabalisa at depression. And then, para magawa namin ng mga solusyon at nagkaroon kami ng pag-uusap sa Messenger, at pati na rin sa Zoom, sa Google Meet streaming, at pati na rin yung mga live videos via StreamYard. Noong pangalawang araw din ng MECQ, nagkaroon kami ng concert na tinaguri ang Himig Inclusion noong May 17. So, para saan yung concert na yun? Ito yung concert na ipakita lahat ng mga talento ng mga nasa HNI Inclusion na rin. So, pinagpatuloy pa rin namin yung pagtulong sa mga kapwa namin at maaliw ang publiko kung ano yung mga ginagawa namin kahit nasa bahay kami. Next slide. So, paano kami na yun? So, ito ang pinakamalungkot na bahagi ng aming buhay. Temporary sign-off kami noong June 6, 2020 dahil nga sa pandemic na rin. Pero nagpapatuloy pa rin ang mga pagbuo ng mga aming mga plano at ang muling pagbangon ng aming org. At maging na rin sa mga plano sa kinahaharap, lalo na ang aming formalidad. Next slide. So, today, nagkakaroon kami ng kumustahan kada Lunes. Yung kumbaga, nagbabatian kami, nag-good morning, and then kumusta ang kalagayan ninyo, at saka kumusta din ang inyong kalagayan. So, ngayon, nasa mabuting kalagayan na din sila. And then, nagkaroon din sila din na may konti rin mga pangamba dahil nga rin sa trabaho. Sa work from home na rin yung iba, and then yung iba naman sa amin nag-aaral. And then, nagkakaroon din kami ng mga meetings. Alinman sa Zoom, Google Meet, or Messenger, yung group chat. And then sa amin lahat, karamihan sa amin ay mga vloggers. Next. Ito ang mga tao na nasa likod ng mga live vlogs. Kasama na ako doon. At ito ang mga aking mga kasama. Majority sa amin ay may PWSN, at the guy with yung katabi ko, meron siyang cerebral palsy. Next. Paano kami mai-impress na yon? Kung pagbabasihan natin yung satisfaction, sapat na sa kanila. Dahil nga, una, kahit hayaan ng sabihin nila, kahit sabihin ng iba, kahit anong mga bato o yung mga negatibo na feedback, hinahayaan na lang namin yun. Kasi kapag once na may mangyari, once na halimbawa binato ka ng negative comment, huwag mo sasagutin ng pangontra. Ang sagutin mo, mamahalin na lang kita. Ayan, yan yung ibig ko sabihin. Next. Ito ang matinding hinamon namin nung panahon ng pandemic. Yan, una-una yung aming mga problemang personal o personal issues. Bakit personal issues? Kasi meron pa rin mga nanloloko, mayroon din mga nambubuli, at meron din mga hindi naniniwala pa rin kung ano ang mga pinaglalaban namin. Kaya ayan, nagkakaroon kami ng parang ng hinayang din kami dito. Yung teamwork naman, ayun, meron ding minor changes na ginawa namin na pwede naka-apekto sa amin lahat, including ito, i-connect natin yung internet access, pati yung kawalan din ng gadget. Yan ang isa sa nakikita namin. At pati yung roles of organization at saka mga leaders. Parang kumbaga nalilito pa kami kung paano namin gagawin. Paano namin mapapatunayan kung ano. Paano namin mapapatunayan sa madla na kung sa loob pa lang ng aming organization, nagkakawatak-watak na. Ang ginawa namin ng paraan, hinayaan ko na, kumbaga, kung kapag may maluwag. Next. Ano kami nakabangon na yun? Yan. Una, nagkakaroon kami ng routine. Yung pagbati. Batian na good morning. Nag-good morning kami. And then, pag ako ay nag-good morning, meron magsasabi na, mag-ano na tayo. Plano na tayo. And then, pangalawa, yung pag-iisip kung ano yung mga kamalian namin at pati yung mga problema, pati na rin yung ating mga resolution. Ano yung mga solution namin regarding doon? Sa totoo lang kasi, dinadahan-dahan lang namin lahat ng mga makakaya namin. Para makabangon kami kung ano ang pagsubok na aming hinaharap. At wag ninyo kakalimutan to. Sa lahat ng organizations, mapa-paaralan, mapa-NGO o pribado, maging ehemplo kayo sa anumang bagay. Bakit? Kasi aanuhin natin yan kung wala na nga. Kung hindi nyo gagamitin ang magandang ehemplo, kung maninira kayo lalo. Next. Ano ang aming natutunan na yon sa panahon ng community quarantine bilang isang grupo? Una, pagkakaisa at saka katapatan. Okay. So, balik tayo. Yung honesty and unity. Matuwa ka na lang kahit konti na lang yung tagahanga mo. Huwag mo na lang pakialaman kung ano ka man. Ang mahalaga, nakakayanan mo kung ano ang nasa iyong buhay. At nasa iyo rin pangarap, pati pagsisikap. Pangalawa, paglikha ng mga bagay na kakayahan. Para na rin to sa pakikitulong sa mga kapwa kong PWD at sa kapwa kong autismo at pati na rin sa kapwa kong PWSN na rin. Kailangan natin matuto at kailangan natin maituwid ang ating mga talento. At ang panghuli, natutunan ko to sa aking kaibigan, be a bigger person. You will go further like facing challenges that you can get confused and stressed out, but the effort. You will overcome those with confidence. Next. At bago tayo magwakas, mga kapatid at mga nanonood saan man panig sa buong mundo, magbibigay ako ng quote about kay Stephen Hawking. My advice to other disabled people would be concentrate on things your disability doesn't prevent you doing well. And don't regret the things it interferes with you. Don't be disabled in spirit as well as physically. Sa madaling salita, huwag mong pansinin kung ano ang negative side. Kung ano ang negative side na binabati ko sa inyo. Bagkus, gampanan mo kung ano ang makakaya mo sa pamamagitan ng spiritual at physical na pamamagitan sa iyo sarili kahit PWD ka o hindi. Ito yung aking natututunan nang naibasa ko to kahapon sa aking pag-uulat. Sa aking live vlog kahapon sa InkluRadyo. Yun lang po ang aking masasabi, mga kaibigan. Next. Maraming salamat sa inyo at pagpalain tayo nawa ng buong may kapal.
Wow, that was a great talk. Thank you so much, Sir Roylan.
Sir Roylan, maraming salamat po sa mga sinabi niyo po. At yung tumatak talaga yung sinabi niyo po na aanhin pa natin yung pinaglalaban natin kung hindi tayo kumilos, di ba? And what you left us with, what Stephen Hawking said na don't be disabled in spirit. And I think that speaks a lot for everyone also. And yun, there's a lot of things that we can take from this talk, from what Sir Roylan said also, about really pushing through an advocacy in challenging times and changing times as well, to keep your connection with it and to keep really pushing for it too. So thank you, Sir Roylan.
Yes, thank you so much. And again, remember to register if you haven't yet in the link provided in the comments down below. It's bit.ly/PWSN testimonials. And if you have any questions for Sir Roylan, comment down na rin, and we'll do our best to have Sir address them in the Q&A portion later. So yes, we will now be having a short break in order to process everything that we have learned so far from our previous two speakers.
Okay, so for those of you who are staying with us during the break, we'd like to hear your thoughts, maybe even some realizations that you had throughout these talks. However, in line with our topic, we also prepared a prompt for you guys. So if you have any, you can share down below in our comments a meaningful encounter or experience you had with the sector. So feel free to.
Okay. So, Aki, what is your meaningful encounter or experience with the sector?
Okay, my meaningful experience with the sector, it's really my first year. The first time I went to a speed event, which was Sparkle. And that was the first time I was processed. That was the first time that after event, you're going to get processed for an event. And that's when I realized how my buddy, I remember her name, she was Shanti. And what I realized from spending the whole day with her was that she was not afraid to show her love. In many ways, she was not afraid to hug us, to tell us how much she loves us. And at the end of the day, she wasn't afraid to say, I will miss you. And that's really wonderful also for me. It was very meaningful that day. So, how about you, Nika?
Yes,
How
that's
about you?
great. I think it's just a general encounter with the sector, but I really love dancing with our partner areas, like the kids from all of the areas that go to school, or sometimes we visit too when we still had on-site classes. So yeah, basically when I was dancing with them, it was just a good time to like release and enjoy your time with the the kids. And yeah, like they dance really well. I was kind of blown away. They're pretty talented. Like, disabilities should not define who you are. Yeah, you are more than your disabilities. Yes, it was amazing. Okay, so let's take a look at the comments now. Let's see.
Right. So remember the prompt. It's if you have any, share a meaningful encounter or experience you had with the sector. So
Or any reflection as well from the two previous talks. Yeah. Okay, we have one from Alisa Flores. So she says that the two talks have shown the challenges of the sector these past months, but also have everyone's responded because of the deep love they have for their organization. Super insightful. Yes, I agree. You know, like I think I speak for everyone when, you know, this pandemic has, you know, not been the best for us, and more especially for the sector. So at least, you know, we're all coming together now and doing our best to help, especially those who are in need of, you know, our help and everything. Yeah.
All right, that's true. Like there's a lot of adjustments we have to make during these times, but to really pull through with all our initiatives is amazing, given our heart for and passion for what we
Yeah.
advocate for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Here we have one comment from Marie Macaranas. She says, when faced with negative comments and actions, it's better to react with love instead of fighting back. Thank you for that, Sir Roylan. Amazing. I agree.
True.
Yeah, you
And
know, if
also,
you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all.
that's true. That is true. That's one of our, core values here, acceptance. Yes. Okay. One more comment from Carlos Kanahashi. So, what I learned from Leah and Roylan is that we can meet virtually and to show the Bayanihan spirit. Yes. Like there's a lot of boundaries now with the virtual setting and everything, but we can't take away the human aspect of everything right now. And I think that's really what we have to keep with what we do as we continue with all these changes moving forward. So yes.
Thank you for that, Carlos.
So mm, all right. We're looking through the comments right now. What else can we um,
Oh,
give?
okay. Here, there's one from Sophia. So she says, sobrang halaga po maging magandang ehemplo para sa iba, lalo na sa gitna ng mga nararanasan natin ngayon. Thank you, sir, for the reminder. Yes. It is important to be good examples and good role models to our fellow human beings.
Okay. It's very lovely to share all your thoughts throughout these
Yes.
talk.
Keep commenting.
Keep commenting. All right. So we have Dani who shared her experience. Dani Concepcion. So her experience is that during her first area visit to Sacred Heart, one of our partner areas as well, our module was Easter Bunny cards. So we really expected the kids to write to their friends or family members, but one of them, Jandis, gave her creation to me. And I still have the card attached to my corkboard. So
Oh,
it's really
that's
nice.
great. That's great, Danny. Thank you for that experience. I'm sure that meant a lot to you.
Okay. So to move forward with our talk today.
Okay, so once again, thank you to all our partners and sponsors as well, and of course our wonderful speakers. So now it's time for the Q&A portion of today's talk. So let's see what questions we have here today. Okay, so there's one from Porong Chavez. I think this is addressed to all of the speakers. What are some of the activities in class that encourages your students to move?
If I may answer, yes. There are a lot of activities that encourages movement no inside the classroom. So we can have as simple as singing and dancing, just following through with videos on YouTube. Just make sure na kid friendly talaga siya no. And as we have our online classes, us teachers realize how it is important for the students to move now kasi nga, since they're all locked up inside the house, yung iba very limited yung space to move around. So as simple as an 8 to 16 count exercise or a simple dance routine will help them will help them to move. And also to add, there are some activities that can be done like for counting. Counting may be done with jumps, with a step forward. So that is a movement for our body, no? For the bodies, for our students as well. Hindi kailangan pag nag-count nakaupo ka lang, just use your fingers. There are so many ways that we can explore so that we can maximize the skill of movements inside our houses, inside our institutions, and our centers. That's it.
Thank you, Teacher Leah. Sir Roylan or Sister Gladys, do you have anything you want to say po about your answers for the question?
Okay.
Okay po.
Actually, hindi siya klase para
Opo.
sa akin. So, para sa akin, motivation. Kasi, at saka hopes of wisdom. Because, paano natin magagampanan yung mga roles? Kung kulang naman tayo sa words of wisdom and motivation, at saka yung hindi pwede yung ikaw lagi masusunod kung ano yung pinagagawa mo. At saka ang kagandahan, dapat hinay-hinay ka ng pagmando. Yung pagmamando ng trabaho. Yung ano mo to. I-upload mo. Tapos, yun. Paano ko madedetect kung may copyright at saka strikes? Like, say, example, sa YouTube. Ang dami, yun ang napapansin namin. Napapansin namin na yun. Regarding nga doon, saka, yun na rin. Saka, hindi dapat, ang akin lang, yung planuhin lang, yung tamang plano. Okay. Wala na.
Sige po. May susunod po na tanong galing kay Alicia Flores. Since you're all part of organizations or schools, when you or someone in the org feels heavy and tired because of the challenges due to the pandemic, what are ways that you support each other?
Again, if I may answer, I know it's actually a great challenge to everybody, and it is important for everyone to keep sane during this time. So, like what I mentioned at the start of the talk, it's good that you check out on each other. Just send out a very simple message asking how are you doing, not just for teachers to teachers. You also have what we realized under this pandemic is that we had a personal connection with the parents as well, because they are also greatly affected because of the challenges of this pandemic. Kasi sa kanila na ibigay yung responsibility actually to educate the children. Us teachers, kami ay nagsusupport lang sa ngayon, nagbibigay ng activities, pero the hands-on people behind the education of the students now under the pandemic are the parents, the caregivers. So it is good when we start our class, it is parang nagiging routine na rin to ask the parents how they are, how's their day, as simple as did you eat breakfast. So it's important. It's important to check out on each other, and this kind of questions will give you a sense of support. You will feel na hindi ka nag-iisa. Hindi ka nag-iisa dito sa ginagawa mo, kasi alam mo na lahat tayo ay partners. Lahat tayo ay partners. And as an example, Ateneo Speed, my partner area head has been texting me all the time, sending emails, and asking how the students are. It's very overwhelming. It makes us feel na we are not alone under this kahit na very challenging, very chaotic ang education ngayon. We feel that each one is a support to one another. Yan. Thank you.
Thank you po, Teacher Rhea.
Sir Ryan, do you have anything to add to the question po?
Ano pa?
May dadagdag pa po kayo sa nasabi na po ni Teacher Lea tungkol sa how you support each other po in the organization.
Ay, ganito yan kasi. Ganito yan. Ito yung kasasagsagan ng lockdown. Yung i-share ko lang sa inyo to. Nagkaroon kami ng hindi pagkaunawaan ng kasi ang nararamdaman niya na napapagod na siya. Pagod na siya at saka pwersado na. Tapos nagtatanong parang gusto niya magpahinga na lang kami. Yung kumbaga isa shutdown. Kagaya ng yung shutdown, yung planong shutdown talaga, yung hindi na kami kahit hindi pa kami formal na, kahit hindi kami mag-operate. Yung gusto niya talaga mangyari, hindi tayo mag-ooperate dahil hanggang matatapos ang lockdown. Hindi ako pumayag doon at the time na yun kasi paano natin magagawa ang mga plano? Tapos ang gusto mo lang, kumustahan lang. Unfair na nga yun kung unfair na nga sa iba. At yung away namin yun nagtagal na hanggang today. Yung mga bangayan namin. Paano ko masasabi sa kanya kung halimbawa ito. Halimbawa, magsasabi ka na i-shutdown na lang. Paano yung mga ibang magtatrabaho? Di kawawa na nga. Kung ano ang maiisip. Mabuti na lang at itinuloy na namin yan without him. Hindi na kami humingi ng tulong without him kasi masyadong pinupolitika. Namumulitika, nag-i-inside job, gusto niya lagi, Christianity lagi. Paano yung mga Muslim, yung mga, yung mga Iglesia de Cristo, yung mga born again Christian, di ba nakaka-apekto din yun sa kanila? So, gumawa pa siya ng constitution before the lockdown na sinabihan niya yung isang member, alam mo, hindi Catholicism ang ipopromote natin lagi. Paano naman kami mga ibang religion like born again, Muslim? Galangin mo na nga ang constitution, hindi yung one-man rule ka. Kaya yun ang nagbunga kung bakit kami nagwatak-watak nung at the time ng hanggang sa nagtuluyan na nagsara muna pansamantala. Kahit nagsara na kami pansamantala, pinag-uusapan namin kung ano yung mga plano and the formality na rin soon. Kasi hindi pa natin matitiyak kung kailan talaga matatapos ang COVID-19 pandemic. Ang pagkasabi meron nga akong isasabihin sa inyo. Meron ako kasing pinakinggang talk na magtatagal ang COVID-19 pandemic talaga. At prenangka kami. Nationwide lockdown ang gusto magkakaroon ng second wave. Kaya yan, I will ask you everyone, handa na ba tayo for the second wave? At handa na ba tayo kung ano ang mga resources natin? Hindi pwede yung angal ka ng angal ng angal ng angal ng angal. Yung parang ikaw lagi ang napapagod dahil gusto mo kung ano yung pinaglalaban mo. Yan ang isasanggunin mo sa ating pamahalaan. Napaka yan. Paumanhin kung kung may matatamaan. Ayan,
Sige po.
paumanhin na rin.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Royland. Para doon. Siguro huli na rin. One last question na lang po. Just leave us at here. Okay. So if you would leave us with one thing today for all the advocates for the special needs sector watching with us tonight, what would you like to tell them?
Si Teacher Leia muna.
Okay po, Sir Royland. Alright. If there's one thing that we can tell our advocates for today, is just to stay positive and to not stop in exploring possibilities, because there are so many possibilities. It is challenging. It is really is challenging. It is really hard. It will be very difficult at the start. It will be, it seems like parang kakayanin ba talaga? Laging ganun yung question. Kakayanin ba talaga? But if we don't try, and if we do not exert effort to exhaust all the possibilities, we will not know that this kind of way of learning now under this pandemic is possible. We have been challenged with a typhoon under during the pandemic pa. So it's like a double challenge, but we are still continuing. We are still continuing, and we can say that all of this are working. We were able to continue with the Speed Week. We were able to continue with activities from our school, from the other institutions. So I believe that not stopping in exhausting all of the possibilities that we can, all of the ways that we can serve our PWSNs, and staying positive are some of the attitude or the character that we should have as advocates for us to be able to continue to share and to give service to our PWSNs. That's it.
Yes. Thank you, Teacher Leia. Sir Royland, may
Apo.
nagdag po ba kayo? Okay.
Yung itong tanong na to, one thing for the advocates. Maipapayo ko lang sa kanila, hindi lang sa mga PWSN at hindi rin sa mga, at pati na rin sa mga PWD, pati anumang estado ng PWD. Ito na yun. One word. One phrase pala. Believe in yourself. Walang mangyayari kung sa umpisa angal ka ng angal. I cite with an example. Paano kung halimbawa pinuna yung ginagawa mo na tapos nagagalit ka? Do you think matutuwa yung client mo? Hindi. Pagbutihin mo pa instead na umangal ka. Dahil ang mahalaga yung kaayusan ng iyong trabaho, hindi yung pagiging yung pinapairal mo yung pride mo at pagiging hindi matatamaan, pasensya na kung matatamaan na. Hindi sa quality ng pera ang habol. Lahat tayo naghihirap. Kung gusto ng iba na easy money, pasensya na. Hindi lahat makukuha sa madalian na yan dahil nagdudusa na ang buong mundo. Nagdudusa din ang bawat pamilya saan man panig sa Pilipinas. Ayun ang masasabi ko lang. Maniwala sa sarili lamang.
Maraming salamat po, Teacher Lea.
Wala naman po.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, ayun nga po. Sa Q&A portion, we learned about a lot of things on how we can innovate in this time of uncertainty, and that, this time of uncertainty can help us grow as we grow also. So,
Yes. And we also need to remember the importance of being inclusive when it comes to finding solutions that will benefit all of us, especially when, the time of COVID, it feels very uncertain. So yeah, basically what we have to do is just look out for each other. Yeah.
all right. So now that's our wrap for today's talk. Again, we would like to thank our sponsors, Adarna House and Unilab. And before we close this talk, we would like to thank our three speakers, Ms. Lea Buenaventura, Sister Gladys Malinao, and Mr. Roland Marlang, for being with us for our Speed Week Day.
Yay.
So before we conclude it, we would like to call one of our project heads, Christina Savedal, to present our virtual certificate of appreciation to our speakers.
Okay, so before we end today's live stream, we want to give our warm thanks to the speakers by awarding these certificates of appreciation to Leah Camille M. Buenaventura, Royland G. Marlang, and Sister Gladys Malinao in recognition of their valuable participation and insights on the talk, community stories, testimonials on how PWSNs are faring in the time of COVID, given today on the 8th of December 2020. Thank you, speakers.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Ate
po.
Leo.
Ayun, wow. Okay, so we would also like to thank everyone who helped make this talk possible, and of course to all who's watching with us today at this live stream. So make sure to give us feedback by clicking the link to the evaluations posted in our live stream's description. So we wish everyone the best, and remember to stay safe.
Okay, so we hope to see you all again in our talk tomorrow, Journey Through the Park. So where we hear different advocates share their own unique stories of their journey and the advocacy. Catch us again here at the Speed Facebook page from 5 to 6:30 p.m. tomorrow for that. So that's it from us again, and we are your hosts, Aki Malabanan.
And Nika Fernandez, signing out.